name's Shell. Welcome to my channel where I'm losing weight using the Slimming World plan. I'm now using the online plan and have been doing for a couple of weeks now, and it's great, really enjoying it. We've had some really nice events. Last week I told you that we were going to one on Sunday evening, which was an interview, or well, a chat with a bloke called James Garner, who was Slimming World's Man of the Year last year, and he lost 12 stones, and he told us all about how it had changed his life and how he could move around much more easily. And it was quite moving when he was telling us about how he can now go out and play with the kids and go to the park with them, whereas before he didn't feel like he was really taking part in their life. And he told us how he does Slimming World when he's travelling. He does a lot of travelling with his work, and about how he went off plan when he was on holiday, but the minute his feet touched British soil, he was straight back into his plan again. He was really nice. He was just an ordinary bloke, and he had lots of tips and tricks. And if you are an online member, I think you can listen to it for the rest of the week, so I highly recommend going and having a listen. He was great. I haven't looked up to see what's coming up this week. There is one that I missed that I want to go and catch up on, which I think they've been talking about in group, which is a 30-day optimising challenge. So I'm going to go and have a listen to that. I think it starts this weekend or pretty soon, and I think it is going to be food optimising 100% for 30 days straight. But I'll go and have a listen to that. It was a really nice week on plan as well. I've enjoyed the week. I'm still trying to make changes and improve the kind of health aspect of the plan for me. I've recently dropped having my Red Bull and Diet Coke, which I really love and I really miss, but I am trying for health reasons to cut those out. I used to have a diet Red Bull at dinner time, and then in the evening I drink this stuff called green cola. It's a healthier version of Coke because they only use natural caffeine and stevia as a sweetener, and it's a much more healthy version of Coke, but it's still Coke. So I'm trying to cut those two things out, but I've been finding I'm falling asleep because I only usually drink coffee in the morning and in the afternoons perhaps, and in the evening when we're watching something on the telly. We've been watching Midsummer Murders recently, and I've just been nodding off. It's hopeless. So I'm hoping that the longer I go without, the more my body will get used to not having that level of caffeine, at least from those products anyway, to prop me up. This week I wanted to do something a little bit different. I don't do what I eat in a days generally, but Al from Al Geeky Slimmer has asked us in collaboration with him to do a what I eat in a day in memory of one of our long-standing YouTube members, Kaza. Kaza had a channel called A Little Bit of Kaza, which is still there. You can go and check her out. And she was a lovely lady. She was losing weight using quite a few different plans, and she'd do the plan and get very enthusiastically into it. And she was always doing things for other people. And her channel was really sweet because she gave a lot of herself away on the channel, a lot to do with her family, her friends, her bingo. She'd take you shopping. She used to take her mum, show her mum on the video, taking her out, and she was always doing things for other people, and her family were lovely. She had 3 boys and her husband, Warren, and the little boy, well, he's not a little boy now, but when she started, the little boy Dexter, he was so cute, he really was. And she passed away last year. She became ill very quickly, and she passed away so suddenly. It was a real shock, and we'll all miss her. And so for Kaza and for Al as well, I'm going to do a what I eat in a day, which was yesterday. This last week I did lose £0.5. I was hoping to have lost a bit more. I felt like I'd lost a bit more, but £0.5 is still £0.5. I was really hoping it would be £1, but I'll take it. You know, it's fine. And one of those days, yesterday, I'll tell you what I ate. If I can remember, I'll try and tell you in as much detail as I can. So yesterday morning I started the morning off with 1.5 pints of black coffee. I use 1 sachet of the Beanies coffee sticks. They're lovely. I get them from Amazon. You get 100 sticks in a box for about £15, and they're all different flavours. My favourite's the hazelnut, but they're so fresh in these little sticks, and I think you're supposed to make a mug out of them, but that'd be too strong for me, so I make it in a 1.5 pints, and the first cup of coffee in the morning is just my favourite, really nice. For breakfast, I've not had breakfast the last couple of weeks, but I've been starting to try and have it again. I can't seem to get my breakfast right at the minute. Ever since I've not been able to eat oats anymore, I can't seem to settle on the right thing that fills me up the same. Now, somebody on a forum last week said that they had a problem with eating oats, and the way they got around it was to stop eating the dried oats and eat the oat groats, which is the whole grain. So I thought I would try that this week and see if I can tolerate those or if they have the same effect. It's only 2 days in now, so I can't tell until probably after a week. So yesterday morning I cooked oat groats in the Instant Pot. I put in 2 cups of oat groats and 3 cups of water and some vegetable stock, and I cooked it for 26 minutes, which came out all creamy and delicious. They really are gorgeous, and they're free as well. Because they're the whole grain, they're free on Slimming World. I had with them a punnet of raspberries, which was 150 grams, a chopped up apple, and then I had the first healthy extra of the day. I split it between a tablespoon of ground flax seeds and 10 grams of nuts, mixed nuts. I stirred the whole lot in together, and it was really nice. I like the cold fruit and the hot oats and the nuts and seeds. It was a really filling breakfast. Mid-morning I had a Highland spring water, just a fizzy spring water, and I kind of sipped on that throughout the morning. And then at dinner time I had a Warburton's wholemeal pita bread. I opened mine up a little bit before I put it in the air fryer, because once they go crispy, if you try and fill them, they split. So it's a good idea to open them first before you put them in the air fryer. So that was my second healthy extra, and in there I put 3 teaspoons of American mustard for half a swip per teaspoon. I mashed up some chickpeas, really only just enough so that they squashed them up so they didn't have a tendency to roll out of the pita bread when I bit into it. So I kind of mashed it up with a bit of soy sauce, put those in, and then I had a load of salad with it, and cucumber, sugar snap peas and cherry tomatoes, lettuce, and some raw carrot, and a load of grapes as well. Had a load of grapes. I like to stuff the grapes in with the chickpeas. It was really tasty. It was quite a big meal and very filling for 1.5 sins and another healthy extra, so that's the second healthy extra. I made another 1.5 pints of coffee with a coffee stick, and I sipped that throughout the afternoon. I had that black. Tea time, we had a busy afternoon, and tea time, it got to the point where I had around about half an hour before Losers Club started, and I was in a panic, and I thought, what can I make? I've got to have something really quick. So I got out of the freezer. I remembered I had soup in the freezer. One of them was leek and potato and lentils, which I got out for my partner Andy. And the one I got out for myself was mostly squash and sweet potato, with a load of other vegetables in as well, but the main thing was the sweet potato and squash. But it had leeks in it and onions and celery and broccoli, I think. I've always got homemade soups in the freezer. I usually keep some in there that are chunky, and just before I get to the bottom of the pan I save a bit and I blend it until it's smooth and then use that as a sauce often. So some nights if I'm in a hurry and I want something quick, I'll just get out some brown rice, put some beans on top, and then I use this blended up the smooth soup, because it's a sauce then, and just stick that on top and it makes a really quick meal. But last night I had the sweet potato soup, a nice big bowl. I dumped some corn chunks in it for the protein and just to make it a bit more filling. And then on the side I got out a nice big hunk of homemade wholemeal bread. It was about 100 grams, so that was, well, 70 grams of that is a healthy extra, so that'd be my third healthy extra of the day. 30 grams of that I had to swip, which was 3.5 swips. So I've now had all 3 healthy extras, and the swips are now at 3.5, 5 swips. After tea I like to have a hot chocolate. I usually use the milk element as a healthy extra, but today I had ended up already eating all my healthy extras, so I had to sin it. I had the almond barista, the Alpro almond barista, 150 mils of that for 2.5 swips. It's under 2.5 swips actually, but I always round up the swips just to be on the safe side. So that was 2.5 swips, so that's 7.5 swips so far. And then I used 3 grams of cocoa powder. I do get it out with a teaspoon, and then I put the cup on the scales and make sure I weigh it out as well. Only because, not because I think I might put too much, there's never over 3 grams in the teaspoon that I use, but sometimes there's under, and I don't want to be done out of any chocolatey goodness. So I'm always going to make sure that I get the 3 grams, because 3 grams isn't much, so I don't want to miss out on any. 3 grams is 1, the green and black's cocoa powder is 1 swip. So we're up to 5, 6, 7.5, 8.5 swips we're up to now. So that is 150 mils of Alpro almond, 3 grams of cocoa powder, and just a little bit of stevia. Just because the Alpro almond is quite a sweet milk as it goes anyway. You don't need much sweetener in as well as that. So I just put a little bit of stevia just to make it just a little bit sweeter. And the cocoa powder, because it's only a small amount, it doesn't really make it too bitter. I blend it all up till it goes frothy, and then add in some boiling water and some cold water just to make it up to about, I suppose in the end it's up to about a pint, I think. I like a big drink and it's all frothy and hot and warm and chocolatey, and it really, it's a dessert really. I have it after tea and it is my dessert. So we're up to 8.5 swips and all the extras gone. Round about 9 o'clock I made a decaf coffee, which I made in my flask, which is a cafetiere. It's a metal flask, but it's got all the cafetiere gubbins on the top, so you can just make it and drink it out of the same flask. So I had that round about 9 o'clock, and I had with it a Tesco's fruity shortcake biscuit. These are really nice. I think McVitie's do a similar one, a fruit shorties I think they call them, but we prefer the Tesco's fruit shortcake. So I had one of those with the coffee. They're 2 sins, so up to 10.5 swips. And then later on, before bed, around about 10 o'clock, 10:30, I had one of my Trip drinks that I've been having recently to help me get to sleep, with the CBD stuff in. They're 1.5 swips. So that's 12 swips, and that was it. Didn't have anything else. I went to bed. I slept like a log last night. I think perhaps cutting out the Red Bulls is making me really sleep. So that's what I had yesterday. I wouldn't say it's a fairly typical day because usually we have a bit more for tea than soup and corn chunks, but that's something that I have when I'm in a hurry. Usually for tea we might have rice and chilli or rice and curry, baked potatoes with perhaps beans and a burger, or we have pasta, tomato sauce, meatballs, things like that. But last night I was in a hurry, so that's what I had, and it's always good to have soup, I find, in the freezer. I hope everybody's had a good week. That was what I eat in a day. Perhaps one day when I can't do the ones with pictures in, unfortunately, because I don't edit my own videos and it's a lot of work to ask somebody else to do to put all the pictures in. But perhaps one day in the summer when we've got a bit of time and we've got a week where we're not doing anything, perhaps I'll be able to do a whole week and put the pictures in. I would like to do that at some point. Let me know in the comments below how you got on this week, what kind of a week you've had. Are you looking forward to Valentine's Day? What are you going to do? I'm not sure what we're doing yet. We're not going out anywhere, but I think I might cook something nice. And of course it's Pancake Day next Tuesday. I don't know whether we'll be doing them yet. I struggle with pancakes. I might try and see if I can find a healthier version, because the one I normally make is a long way from Slimming World friendly, and I wouldn't even like to start to calculate how many swips is in it. But I think for Valentine's Day I'll make a nice on-plan meal, but we may have, in fact I'm sure we'll have, because I know I've got them in the cupboard left over from Christmas, we've got 2 of the small bottles of Prosecco, the little one-person ones, which I can't remember now how many swips are in those. It's either 6.5 or 7, but then I haven't checked since the new book came out, so that could be different, because last time we had one, I think it was New Year's Eve. But let me know what you're going to do for Valentine's Day. Are you going to stay on plan, or are you going out somewhere? And let me know how you've done on the scales as well. I'll speak to you next week. Have a lovely, lovely week, and I hope that you will see less of me. Take care then. Bye!